Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're really getting into a football match that was, well, absolutely packed with drama. We're talking about the Real Madrid versus Borussia Dortmund quarterfinal from the 2025 FIFA Club World Cup. And we're using ESPN's game analysis as our main source here.
Yeah, it was quite the match. Definitely worth digging into.
Absolutely. So our mission today is to unpack those key moments, look at the surprising shifts, and figure out what this game really tells us about top-tier football, especially given how, well, chaotic those final minutes were.
Chaos is a good word for it.
Right. I mean, get ready because we're talking 3 goals deep into stoppage time. The result was totally up in the air until the very last kick. And just for context, this was Saturday, July 5th, 2025.
Okay.
So let's set the scene properly. This wasn't just any old game. It's a FIFA Club World Cup quarterfinal played at MetLife Stadium, New Jersey, which, is where the next World Cup final will be. Big stage.
Huge stage. And the atmosphere.
Yeah, it sounded electric. Sunny afternoon, pretty warm, 86 Fahrenheit, that's about 30 Celsius. Kicked off at 3 p.m. And a massive crowd, too. 76,611 fans there.
Wow, packed house.
But before all the action, there was actually quite a somber start. A moment of silence for Liverpool's Diogo Jota and his brother, Andre Silva, who played for Penafiel.
Oh, right. That tragic car crash. Happened just a couple of days before, didn't it?
Exactly, on the Thursday. A tough moment before such a big game. A real reminder of, well, life outside football.
Definitely puts things in perspective. So thinking about the game itself, you have to consider the background, the sort of psychological state coming in. Real Madrid, they had just beaten Dortmund, 2-0 in the 2024 Champions League final?
That's right, the previous year's final.
And even earlier this season, in the league phase of this tournament, Madrid had that incredible comeback against them, down 2-0 at halftime, won 5-2.
Yeah, quite the turnaround.
So based on that history, you'd probably expect Real Madrid to, well, maybe not dominate, but certainly control the game, right?
Yeah, that was the expectation. And honestly, for a long stretch, it looked like that was exactly what was happening. Madrid started really strong. Gonzalo García scored early, 10th minute.
The young guy.
Exactly. And then Fran García added another 10 minutes later, 20th minute. So bang, bang, 2-0 up. It really felt like Madrid were cruising.
And what's really interesting there, I think, is the starting lineup choice by Xabi Alonso, the new Madrid coach, starting Gonzalo García, who's only 21, and, barely played in the Spanish league the last couple of seasons, like 5 appearances total.
Yeah, really bold move.
Especially when you have Kylian Mbappé on the bench. Okay, Mbappé was apparently still getting back to full fitness after gastroenteritis.
Right, that was a reason given.
But still, putting Garcia in ahead of him in a quarterfinal, that's a big call. And it paid off immediately. Shows Alonso's got confidence.
It really did pay off. Garcia's goal, his 4th of the tournament actually, tied him for the lead with Di Maria and Marcos Leonardo. But it does make you wonder, doesn't it? What does it mean for a team when, a younger, less experienced player gets that chance over a superstar and actually delivers on such a massive stage?
Well, it says a lot about the manager's trust, I think. Trust in the squad depth and for team morale.
Yeah.
Seeing a young player step up like that, it's huge. It shows that performance matters, maybe more than reputation sometimes.
Good point.
Plus, it meant Alonso could hold Mbappé back, use him later perhaps when the game might open up or legs get tired. A strategic element too.
Which, as we'll see, became pretty important later on. But for about 80 minutes, as you said, Madrid looked comfortable. That 2-0 lead felt pretty secure, like the game plan was working perfectly.
It did seem that way.
Yeah.
But, football's funny. Alonso himself said it after the match. I think his quote was revealing. He said something like, "We were doing really well. Match looked under control."
Yeah, I remember that. And then,
But then in the last 10 minutes, things got crazy. His words. He admitted they lost a bit of focus, intensity off the ball.
got crazy is probably an understatement.
Yeah. He did say luckily nothing else happened, but also noted the last 10 minutes to improve. So even in victory, he saw the cracks.
And those cracks really opened up in stoppage time, didn't they? The whole game just exploded. 3 goals after the 90th minute.
Madness. Absolute madness.
It started with Dortmund, right? Maximilian Bayer scored. About 3 minutes into stoppage time, 90 plus 2.
Yep. Bayer. Suddenly it's 2-1. The clean sheet's gone. Game on.
Exactly. That goal wasn't just changing the score. It felt like it changed the whole feeling of the game. Suddenly, there was doubt.
And that's the thing in elite football, isn't it? Momentum can just switch like that. And the real test for a top team is how you react when that happens.
Yeah.
Can you get your focus back instantly under that pressure?
Well, Madrid's response was pretty immediate. And pretty spectacular. Kylian Mbappé, he'd come on earlier, around 67 minutes, for Jude Bellingham.
Right. Bellingham missed playing his brother Job, who was suspended yellow cards.
Yeah, tough break for him. But Mbappé comes on, Dortmund score to make it 2-1. And then just 1 minute later, 90 plus 4, Mbappé scores.
Incredible response.
And how? It was described as a spectacular bicycle kick, a stunner. You see that go in, 3-1, you absolutely think, okay, now it's over, he sealed it.
That's pure Mbappé, though, isn't it? Coming off the bench, maybe not fully fit after being ill.
Yeah, still delivers that moment of magic.
Exactly. Just shows the quality he has. He can change a game in an instant. That goal wasn't just insurance. It felt like a statement. Like, okay, panic over.
But it wasn't panic over, because the drama just kept coming. 8th minute of added time, 90 plus 8. Dortmund get a penalty.
Garcia fouled.
Yeah, Serhou Guirassy was fouled by Madrid's Dean Huijsen, and Huijsen got a red card for it, too.
Oh, wow. Red card and a penalty. So Huijsen's out for the semifinal.
Yep, and Guirassy steps up, converts the penalty, 3-2. Suddenly, it's frantic again. Player down, 1-goal game, deep into stoppage time.
Unbelievable finish.
And it almost got even more unbelievable. The very, very last play of the match. Marcel Sabitzer gets a shot off for Dortmund, potential equalizer.
Way.
And Thibaut Courtois, the Madrid keeper, just gets his fingertips to it, palms it away, game ends.
Wow. Courtois with a match-winning save, basically, at the death.
Incredible drama, right to the final whistle.
That whole sequence, the late goal, the bicycle kick, the penalty, the red card, the final save, it just perfectly highlights how incredibly fine the margins are. One tiny moment, one decision, one save. It completely changes the outcome. The pressure is just immense.
Absolutely. So somehow, through all that late chaos, Real Madrid held on. They got the win, 3-2. They're through to the semi.
Card fought doesn't quite cover it, does it?
Not really. And their reward, a semi-final clash against Paris Saint-Germain.
Oh, hello. Mbappé against his old club.
Exactly. PSG beat Bayern Munich 2-0 to get there. So that sets up a massive narrative-rich semi-final. You couldn't write it better.
No, you really couldn't. And looking even further ahead, the winner of that monster clash gets either Fluminense or Chelsea in the final.
Right.
It just underlines the quality in this Club World Cup format, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Every game is potentially huge. Top teams from everywhere.
Definitely. And just a quick side note on player involvement. You mentioned Mbappé coming off the bench to score. On the Dortmund side, the American midfielder, Gio Reyna, didn't get off the bench in this one.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah, apparently he only played about 13 minutes total across their 5 matches in the tournament. So you have this spectrum, right? Gonzalo García, the young guy, grabs his chance. Mbappé, the superstar, makes a massive impact as a sub. And then Reyna, another talented player, barely features. What does that tell us about managing these squads in such a high-stakes tournament? Balancing stars, emerging players, tactics. It seems tough.
It's incredibly tough. It's the reality of elite sport, I suppose. Managers have to make ruthless decisions based on form, fitness, the specific opponent, the game situation. Sometimes talented players just don't fit the immediate plan. It highlights the squad depth needed, but also the difficult choices. Reyna's situation, while maybe disappointing for him, shows that sometimes individual quality isn't enough if the tactical fit or current need isn't there. Team goals come first.
Makes sense. So wrapping this all up, what's the big picture here? What does this crazy game mean for Real Madrid and maybe for you listening, thinking about elite sport?
Well, for me, the main takeaway is Real Madrid's resilience. Even when things got chaotic, when their focus maybe dipped, they found a way.
They bent that didn't break.
Exactly. It wasn't pretty at the end, certainly not controlled, but it was effective. A win's a win, especially in a knockout tournament. And it relied heavily on those moments of individual brilliance. Garcia early, Mbappé late, Courtois at the very end. Yeah, and I think beyond just the score, it teaches us so much, doesn't it? Like the massive impact substitutions can have, the absolute necessity of mental strength under extreme pressure, and how just 1 or 2 moments of pure individual genius, that bike kick, that final save, can completely flip a game on its head. It's the human drama within the tactics.
Perfectly put.
Yeah.
So maybe the next time you're watching a big match, look beyond just the goals. Think about those subtle things. Maybe a team losing focus for just a moment, the impact a sub makes, or that last-ditch tackle or save. What really makes a match feel controlled versus one that, just gets crazy, as Alonso put it. There's always so much happening beneath the surface.
Definitely food for thought. It was a wild one.
It certainly was. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.